Bitches, I got the fight back in me! This might be the best episode of the season. Don't get me wrong, it's still shit, but unlike every single episode before, with maybe the sole exception of the first episode, I felt like something good was actually done, though more on that later. No more wasting time, let me go over some of the differences that I noticed while watching this episode. We start off with the little dream sequence that Helena is having. I've said before, but there is no mention of her being a dragon dreamer, and because of that, similarly, there is no mention of Rhaenyra trying to pressure her into revealing what dreams she's had. In Harrenhal, we continue to expand on Aemon's disgusting epidemus complex, as he starts to fuck his own mother, but gets grossed out when it's revealed he's inside a woman who didn't give birth to him. Fucking nasty. Who's the retard who thought this would be a great addition to the show? Because none of this shit is in it. Coincidentally, right after the incest dream sex, Alicent arrives. How she got here so fast is anyone's guess.
Aemon.
Nigga, what the fuck is this bullshit?
This teleporting is getting really close to the latter seasons of Game of Thrones. Anyways, Alicent was never at Harrenhal. Jumping to the next scene, we have Daemon returning to the Vale to chat with Lady Jane Arryn about where Rhaena is. Daemon asks why she didn't lock her in a cell, to which Jane says it's not easy to force a dragon rider to do what they don't want to, which would make sense if this dumb Bent didn't have her guards bring her to the Eyrie in the previous fucking episode. None of this garbage happens, obviously, for tons of reasons laid out in the videos previously made, but I also want to point out how jarring this scene is. Last time we saw Daemon, he was dressed as a gold cloak and beating the piss out of Ulf. Now he's back in the Vale? What prompted this visit? Just to check on her, maybe? That's the only reason I can think of, since Bella and Adam have not discovered her and told Rhaenyra about it, as it's the next scene they even come across her.
Is it Vhagar?
No.
Back at Harrenhal, the lying bitch Alicent makes up this dumb story about loyal Adrian Redford assisting in her escaping King's Landing. Do the writers just think that Kingsguard members are actually assassins? Aegon sent Eric, one of those two, to kill Rhaenyra, but Rhaenyra apparently sent one of the Kingsguard members as part of the fake Baratheon envoy to attempt to kill Daemon, and now she sent Adrian to try and kill Aemon? Seems like a bad idea to send Adrian, as he's from the Vale, which is declared for Rhaenyra, and being a member of the Kingsguard. His name would have likely been known. Though, since he was named after King's Landing was taken, it's possible Aemon wouldn't be privy to that. Regardless, he kills Adrian, who does not die in this matter in the books. He dies protecting Rhaenyra, and Aemon's justification is such shit.
Sorry, Mother. There are secrets here, and I can trust no stranger.
There are plenty of legit reasons to kill him, and they pulled this out of their ass? Off in Tumbleton, Ormond is having a little meal with Corlys, and is being his usual racist stuff.
What do you see in them anyway? The Targaryen element. Why limit yourself in tedious alliance to the brutish and the incurious?
But it makes little sense here, because he is having this conversation with Corlys. I know the race swap makes it hard to remember for people, but the Velaryons are Valyrians, just like the Targaryens. It would be like sitting in a room with LeBron James and asking him, why do you associate with the brutish blacks? And I get, seems they're more of him hating Targaryens rather than Valyrians, but the Velaryons have been marrying into the Targaryen family for generations and vice versa. You can't tell given the complexions of the family, but this is some pair of kings logic if I've ever seen it. The only way I can see this making any sort of sense is if Ormond is trying to insult Corlys for shits and giggles.
Your wife, of course, was of their blood. But that ended all too predictably. After having seen how they devour one of their own.
Got him! Gwaine and Darren have a chat about the madness of Ormond's plan. In fact, Darren questions why the turmoil of King's Landing helps them, but anyone with an IQ level above a school desk can tell you that if the turmoil boils over and results, for example, the storming of the Red Keep and the death of Rhaenyra, then the Blacks lose a big motivation to keep fighting. I'm not saying that they have to like it. There are still issues with what knowledge they know, and it's a gamble, but they make it sound like Ormond is a madman when there is cohesion with this plan. In King's Landing, we get a small council meeting. Happy to see Torrhen snapping at Rhaenyra, pointing out that she's not nearly as clever as she thinks she is.
What can I do? I have advocated for a tax. It has fallen on deaf ears. Our dribbles of gold are spent. As fast as they are gathered, it's as if I have been installed here as some sort of scapegoat.
The fact they don't know that Corlys is abducted, though, is absurd, considering that he is currently in Tumbleton. Even if they weren't super secretive about it, which doesn't make sense because Ormond wants them to know about his capture so that the Velaryon army doesn't enter the city, they should know that something is wrong.
Madness. Madness and stupidity.
Now, a big jump ahead because all these other scenes are just repeating what I've said in the past as we get into a little bit of a skirmish in the Riverlands. Daemon finds Rhaena on Sheepstealer and brings her down. They have a chit-chat, but oh no! Somehow Rhaenyra and Adam arrive and things begin to escalate into a fight. A pretty cool fight, but what are the fucking odds of Rhaenyra and Adam arriving 2 minutes after Daemon does? Contrived bullshit if I've ever seen it. Suffice it to say, such a skirmish never took place in the books at all. Now let's jump all the way to the second to last, but certainly not least, scene of the episode. Aegon standing against the Mutin army with Tylan. Sunfyre rises from the grave and torches his enemy. Now, as much as I do like this scene, it never happened in the books at all. And to explain why, I need to do some catch-up, as I could have talked about these moments earlier episodes, but I didn't want to spoil Sunfyre being alive. In the books after the Battle of Rook's Rest, Sunfyre was too injured to fly and too large to move, and so was left where he was. Criston settled men to protect the beast. It fed itself on the dead soldiers from the battle until that ran out, and those same men began to bring calves and sheep for Sunfyre to eat. Lord Mutin was not looking for Tylan Lannister, though, as he was captured and already being tortured in King's Landing, remember? Mutin specifically wanted to put Sunfyre down, and so after retaking Rook's Rest, he tried to kill the injured beast with his bravest men. It did not go well, as Lord Mutin, along with 70 of those who came, died in the attempt. Sunfyre eventually did heal from his wounds, and disappeared soon after. Now, I understand partially why Sunfyre was fake dead in the show, as it does seem crazy that Sunfyre would have been kept alive, and Rhaenyra didn't send any of her dragon riders to put the beast down. But I still think there are issues with the whole thinking it's dead, as you're telling me nobody tried to harvest the dragon, taking its bones or meat or anything? Seems equally as ridiculous at best. There is no mention of Aegon being there with Sunfyre, and if he gave a speech such as this,
"Behold me now! I am Aegon Targaryen, Viserys' true heir, the 6th king of the Andals, and the Rhoynar, and the First Men! I was anointed by the High Septon!"
the knowledge would have traveled if any one of those guys survived, and given Sunfyre's injuries, it seems unlikely that everyone was killed. Now, the show ends on the final scene of Ormond and Ulf having a small chat over some wine, clearly setting something up. What it is, I can't tell you, but I think you all can tell.
I think we all know who we're talking about.
But without spoiling it, just in case, Ormond never met up with Ulf. Why? Can't say, but maybe after the next episode I can. And that's it. Still a shit episode, but hey, I really liked Aegon, and it was nice for there to be something good in this snail pace of a series. If you want to listen to me complain about everything else in this episode, though, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss me and DJ Fellow reviewing it. Until then, be safe, and I hope you all have a wonderful night.